for insurance process. And there I worked for 2.5 years. And after that, I got opportunity to work with Allstate Insurance directly, and got promoted as a specialist and then as a business analyst. Overall, I have 5 years of experience as a business analyst, and the roles and responsibilities that I have done so far is to connect with the stakeholders, check the requirements, sign off from the requirements, and according to that, create the business requirement documents and functional requirement documents. Basically, I have used majorly for in all those documented I done in Confluence, and I have a good knowledge of Jira, and we have followed the agile methodology. And uh, when I generated the features and epics, I mostly use the techniques as known as Mascow and ranking approaches, and then I constructed the epics and break down them down into the user stories. And as a business analyst, it is my responsibility to keep refining the sprint backlog and work closely with the development team to check what all progress they have made, and if there is any impediment they are facing. And if it is a soft blocker, then I will try to resolve it. And if it is a hard blocker, then I have to involve a product owner or a product manager into it. So this is all my
Okay.
work.
Do you have any experience in any project with a MasterCard experience? Do you have anything in finance domain?
No, so far I have worked in insurance domain. For that, I have worked for two projects. Like one is for data digital journey, and one was for data migration. Wherein in data migration, the Allstate Insurance itself was using an old system and very old API. So for that, I have been worked for that to migrate that system into the new API, and the format for API was JSON.
Okay. So do you have any idea about the card payment industry? Like what's the process they follow, or what is the data flow you usually have? Like anything like specific, do you know about the data flow for any
Mm,
card payment?
no.
Okay. So that's one thing. Okay. Second is okay, tell me about, since you said agile, right? Tell me about like what is story points, how do you estimate it, and how do you like make sure the developer is like working according to the user stories, and how um, you will get the UAT sign off. Tell me that with an example.
Okay. So starting with the business requirement.
Yeah, you can take any use case or user story and then you can tell me.
Okay. So for example, for the login page, if I say uh, that I want to log in into application wherein I can see my bank statement, and I can view my account balance, and I can transfer the amount. So for that, first will be I will create the epic. It will be for user management, and under that epic I will create user stories. First will be the user registration, and second will be the authentication. These will be my two user story in the epic for user management. So first will be the user registration, and in that user registration, the acceptance criteria I will include is the customer should use their uh, user ID, and the password should be alphanumeric. And once the registration has been done, the email and authentication or verification should be uh, reach out to the end user in 5 to 2 minutes. And after that, once I have ready with all my data, I will connect with the development team and assign those stories to the particular team member.
Okay, so let's get something into technical, okay? Because the job description that you have showed me, they want something like you have
Yeah.
experience with product and sales. So do you have that experience?
No, I have, like, unfortunately, I have not been worked in those domains so far.
Okay. And have you worked as a like when the Scrum Master is not there, have you take that I mean take that lead and have you been a Scrum Master in your team at least for some time?
Yes, there was one scenario when the Scrum Master was on leave, and for that 1 week, I was leading those meetings, the daily stand up, and was it was for evening, and everyone was involved in that meeting, architect and product owner and business development team as well. And one by one, it was my responsibility to check all the details, if the user story has been completed or not, and what issues they are facing. Yeah, I've
Okay.
done.
So okay, so you have worked as and you know what a Scrum Master will do and what are his roles and responsibilities, right?
Yes, as far as I have been under the Scrum Master, and as far as I have worked with them, it, as per my understanding, it is the Scrum Master is a lead to navigate all the team members to reach to the end of the project.
Okay. So when you have to design something, for example, you have a brand new project, okay, when you have to design something like um how will you like initiate the conversation with like some senior stakeholders with help of your architects? Can you explain me like how that meeting will go and what will be your roles and responsibility?
Okay, here if I have to connect with the stakeholder and I have to gather the requirement, my responsibility will be to keep in loop as a in form of email and mentioning all the topics that we have to discuss, and I will check the availability of the stakeholder, and according to that reply I will set up a meeting including the product owner. It is like product owner is not required, but if he is interested to know uh, how the things are going on, then he can join. And I will do some elicitation requirements. First thing I will most of the time what I have used is I have used questionnaire surveys, wherein I have jot down all the questions, and only yes and no options will be there, so that with the help of that I will get a high level clarity that what I have to achieve, and how the things will work. And after that I have used interview sessions and requirement workshops.
Okay. So no, I'm asking about like when there is a technical like solutioning session, okay, with all the architects and you also have some business people and business don't understand technical details, right? So you are the bridge. So they don't
Mhm.
understand technically and your technical lead is completely technical. He doesn't understand business, right? So you are the bridge now. So like whenever if like suppose like let's take a scenario. So since this job is for like a prepaid company, they are going to ask like, for example, like, is there any restriction, okay, for like for the card payment? It's like, for example, let's take geographically. If you let's say this is for US, okay, so they're going to say that okay, for one state, let's say for Florida, we are going live, okay. Can this like new feature be going live in other markets? So can we do that simultaneously, or if there is going to be something issue with that? So if they have that kind of question, okay, how are you going to like make How are you going to communicate with your technical leads or architects and like make sure, so this is a business requirement. They wanted to do it for all markets. Do we have any constraint? So how are we going to fix this? So I want to know how you will bridge that gap between like the technical crew and the client, like the business. Do you have anything like very situational questions or scenario based questions? Like what is your role in that meeting?
Okay, in those meetings, my role will be to use some demographic views, maybe some use some visualization wherein the stakeholders will be able to understand what all things is happening in the source, like what all things was there in the source system and what was there will be there in the target system.
Okay. And if they have any questions?
If they have any technical questions, then of course the our my team members, development team members will be there to answer those questions.
Okay. So you said you have some knowledge about API, right?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell me how to test an API?
Uh, to be very frank, I have not done the testing part, but as far as using the APIs, I have been closely worked with the development team and created the user stories for authentication. And I know that they have used Auth, and for payment also they have used APIs for PayPal. So for those, I have created the user story and acceptance criteria. But when it comes to the interviews, I always stuck that do you know how to perform APIs?
No, but do you know what is an API? Why are we using API? Do you know
Yes.
that?
API, we generally everyone is using APIs. Like, for example, if we are using WhatsApp, Instagram, it's all APIs. And basically, when we have to connect with two systems, the source system and the target system, then we have to use those APIs. With the help of that, we can transform the data from one to another.
Okay, so in what format? Like when you transform data from one system to another system through an API, is there any like specific format we have to use for the file transfer? Do you know
Uh,
that?
uh, if nowadays everyone is using REST, and in that the format is JSON, and previous, yeah.
Okay, great. That's good. That's good answer. Okay. So, but okay, let's discuss about the feedback. Okay, so Shaina, what I think is like for the job description, whatever you have given here, they want some experience with like payment or card, right? Because this is like a leading uh, MasterCard. This is a division of MasterCard. So this prepaid management services, they definitely want you to understand this um, how this like a card system works and what is like this MasterCard, like what are the different operations they have or different
Okay.
kind of integrations they have, and they definitely want that because that is like a that is business knowledge for them. So
Hmm.
if you want to apply, when is this interview?
On Wednesday.
Next
Next.
Wednesday. So what I would like recommend is like you have to tell, you cannot say them like I don't have. You cannot
Hmm.
say that because that will be like then they're not even going to proceed. Very clearly in the job description they have given that we need someone with this finance domain. If you see the job description, it is there. You can see that, right? Desirable or additional capabilities. It says finance domain experience, and in the first itself, right? When in the JD they've given us, they want someone with this card payment in experience with card payment industry. So what I would recommend is like for you, I mean, you have like good flow of like understanding of what a BA will do and all, but for you, if you want to crack this interview, for the
Hmm.
next few days, you have to understand this card payment industry, like basic domain knowledge you need to have. So how like a card payment industry like works, what are the basic terminologies for that? You can say that I don't have experience, but you can say that I have business knowledge or domain knowledge. You have to say that.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
Okay.
you should say that what in card payment industry, what are the basic operations, what are the basic data flow, what are the different systems they will have, or how
Mm-hmm.
the data will flow from one system into another system, right? Because when we say Mastercard, like almost every industry use this, right? It can be a restaurant, it can be travel, or it can be a hotel. Any industry will use that card, right? So that integration, when we have that integration with multiple systems, of course it needs to have, and also very importantly, like prevention, fraud prevention, and how like data is being exchanged with multiple systems, all that they will ask you questions. So for the next, you have time. Okay, so
Hmm.
what you can do is you need to know the basics of this card payment industry. Okay,
Okay.
and how it is being used, what's the basic data flow, and what are the multiple like systems the data is interacting. So you need to know the domain or business knowledge, because you can say I don't have experience, but you need to know, you need to say how that industry works. If you tell them the basics, at least they'll get an idea. Okay, she understands the concepts, or she can understand the terminology, and we can train her. That's how they will think.
Definitely, I work on it.
Yeah.
If you made any videos on this, please let me know. I will
Me,
watch.
a card, Mastercard, no, I have not made, but I think there should be in YouTube. Uh, I think someone should have put that, so you can research on that. Okay. And another thing, what they have asked is like someone who has compliance project experience. Do you have that compliance project experience?
No,
Okay. So do you know what is compliance project?
no.
Okay.
Com means to no, no. You just go ahead.
Yeah, compliance in the sense like that is like industries rules. Okay, for example, so when the government of US is saying that Mastercard in or any kind of card payment industry from this date they had to follow certain rules. So that is issued by the government. Okay, so
Hmm.
they say that like these are the specific standards you guys have to follow, and this should be done from this date. So for let's say
Hmm.
that from September 1st, Mastercard industry should follow this like certain regulations. Like this is like a month earlier, government has given some rules. Okay, so your compliance team will come to you. Of course, you are from IT, but there will
Hmm.
be a different team called compliance team, so they will tell you that we have to like make sure that this rules or from the government, whatever rules we get, that we have to follow that, and you have to go live from September 1st. So they will give you the new like rules that we need to follow. Accordingly, you will develop the code, or I mean like that your developers, you will create user stories, your developers will develop it, and you'll make sure it goes live from September 1st.
Okay.
So when you say compliance means they are like basic industry rules that is coming from government.
Understood.
Okay, that is compliance. If you break compliance or if you don't follow those instructions, then the government will fine, may like what your company can is liable to pay some fines. Yes.
Okay.
So the
The resume got selected because of the woman drive that is they are doing. First reason is that, and since March I am not working, so the gap they have utilized as I'm a female and I'm not working, and now she is ready to work again.
Mhm.
That is why two criterias were there. That's why they selected my resume.
Okay, great. So you need to like, so see, you get an opportunity, you don't want to like waste that, right? So what you have to say is be very sure of all the agile process, how you create user stories, how I think you can see that in my videos, like how to use Confluence, Jira, all that you can say, but always go with examples. That's a must. And API also, please learn about how to test an API. I think you have a basic knowledge, but how to test an API is very easy. Okay, so just see a video of how to test an API. That will be very useful. And then another thing is like definitely learn about finance domain
Yes.
or this card industry's basic like data flow, basic terminologies about that industry. Also compliance, like if they ask you about what is compliance, then you can say that. And also safe experience they're asking. Safe is a certification. Do you know about safe certifications?
I have heard, but I never thought about it so far.
Okay. So safe is like a private like certifying, I mean, it's a company that provide multiple certifications, right? So generally, what is safe? It is also like agile, but safe is like on a higher level, like multiple
Okay.
agile teams, multiple scrum teams, like working, like for example, you have three different teams that's um, working for the same project. Everybody is having their own scrum meetings and everything, but you'll have an agile train and all that. So this is like agile in a like with multiple teams. Okay, that is safe. And with for safe, you have like additional, like it is similar to agile, but like with
Hmm.
some even more with strict rules. Okay, so you can like learn basics of safe and all. But have you worked in any safe project?
No, not so far.
Okay, but you can learn basics of SAFe. You can say that I'm doing a certification, or I'm trying to do a certification, or I'm learning for the certification. You can say that.
Okay, great. Great
Okay,
help. Yes.
and then so yeah, so you should be able to crack this interview if you have this card payment industry domain knowledge, compliance domain knowledge. Safe you can answer. Agile you have to like give more examples, and also user stories. Give no, don't no need to go for registration. Like give some like real examples that you have already worked in your previous project, right? Like something complicated.
Okay, definitely I'll work on this.
Yeah, and then I think other questions you'll be able to answer. Yeah. Do you have any questions for me?
No, it was really nice talking to you, and thank you so much for your time that you have given. I was not sure that I will get this opportunity uh, to sit in front of you and give the interview, mock interview. And whatever you have mentioned, I'll definitely work on those things. And whether it is whatever the result will be, I will definitely let you know.
No, you will get it. So you have to be a little bit bold. Don't worry about the gap and your woman, all that is unnecessary. Don't put all that in your mind. Your focus is like this is a job interview with card payment industry. I have to be thorough with the terminologies. They want agile experience, safe experience, compliance experience, and basics this business experience, right? The domain knowledge. That's all. So just focus on these four things, and you have enough days and like technically be prepared. And don't say I don't know, I don't have experience. You can always say that I have a little bit of knowledge about it, and I will definitely learn if given an opportunity like that. You can definitely do, I mean, avoid the word no, I don't know, and all that. Okay, just like go with the flow and be confident. And even if you don't know, that's fine. Don't think that this gap is going to be an issue. Don't voluntarily say that I have a gap, I don't have a job. Don't say that. Just you can say that I took a break for my personal issues, so or maybe something like health issues or something like that you can say. And I'm ready to work. I've already been in the industry, so I know how the, I mean, how office setting will be. So I'm ready to work. I'm back with the bang. All that you have to be like very positive.
Yes, I will do that.
Yeah. So because confidence is very important, because you can see that in the last line they're saying that do you have a professional attitude combined with the technical ability to gain the trust of clients? So that means
Mm.
you need to have that attitude, right? Positive attitude.
Yes.
Okay, so don't worry about the gap. Just go learn all the, I mean, whatever I've told, just prepare for the next few days, and then you can send me the results once you have, once they say that you're selected, let me know.
Sure, sure. Any feedback so far that I have talked to you, I have answered you. Any feedback regarding that?
Yeah,
That
so you know the, I mean, like from, I have, what I understand from you is like, you know, like how a business analyst work, but you
mm,
have to, that's not enough, right? You have to be more, you have to like always explain them with real time scenarios. This registration, authentication. And when we ask like, have you tested an API? You should never say like no. So you should all know, because you say that you have a knowledge about API, you should definitely know how
mm,
to test an API. So when we say I know something about it, right? Then they ask you like, do you know this? They are going to ask you more questions on that particular topic.
mm,
So
right.
whatever you, when you say that, I think agile questions you will answer, or Scrum Master questions you will answer. That and all will not be an issue. Maybe you'll also answer about diagrams and also documentation, Jira Confluence, all that you will answer. But
Mm,
the problem will be like with domain knowledge,
correct. I understood.
right? Other basic questions I think you can handle. But with this card background and business domain, when you say that I don't have it, then they'll be like, okay, this person is, because this is a senior system analyst role, right? So
Mhm.
when you, 5+ years is considered as senior system analyst, but you should have that some kind of. At least if you're not worked in the project, right? You need to have that card background, some kind of business knowledge.
Sure, sure. Definitely. And one good point is that you gave me just now that don't go in that female employee and this and that. You
Hmm.
just have to improve your knowledge so that they will get you in.
Right. So
That,
we don't have to like tell our weaknesses, right? If they have to figure it out, then let them figure. We don't have to like voluntarily say that I have a gap, I'm a female, like no need of all that. So this is like this industry is like men and women are equally, they are equally paid, and also let's not dive into that. Let's like focus on how strong you are, how much of professional attitude you have. You can be a lead BA, or you can be a senior system analyst. So we have to prove that in that half an hour. So I would like recommend you to do with to learn like all the business terminologies regarding this card payment.
sure. Definitely, ma'am. I will check all the YouTubes and Google and check it out and study
Yeah.
these.
You have enough
What?
time that so you can always prepare. And then also you need to practice. Like when you learn something new concepts, right? So that you will not know exact flow. So so you have to like practice all those terminologies and exact data flow, like how that, for example, a money is transferred. Like what's the data flow? Everything you
Definitely.
should, yeah.
Um, I think that's all I have, and thank you so much to boost my confidence.
Yeah, don't worry, you'll get it. Okay.
I have the basic knowledge. I just have to learn more about the technical terms and give the real-time scenarios examples.
Right. Also, testing experience. When you say API, you need to know how to test it. Okay, just see that in YouTube videos. It is simple, very simple.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, all the best, Shaina. Let me know, okay?
Sure.
On the-
Thank you so
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
much. Bye-bye.